Hey everybody, this is Nick, your TA. I'm going to provide you with the answers for homework number 10 today. So this appears on the day 4 lecture. If you haven't read through the lecture yet, go ahead and read through that. Then at the end of it, Rod has assigned 10 statements that we're going to do. Identify both the distributed terms and then complete a 2-circle Venn diagram for. So go ahead and try those first. Then come back and watch the rest of this video if you haven't. Alright, let's get started. I've already abbreviated the categories here, just for the sake of room. Quick note, like the first one, all cars are motorized vehicles. The entire M, I've written an M to symbolize that. You can do an M or a V, just make sure that the letter that you use is consistent throughout, or else it'll get confusing later on. And make sure that you don't have the same, like on this one, number 5, I think it's no polygraph tests are perfectly reliable tests. Don't use 2 P's, because again, that would be confusing. So just change one of them up. But this whole category, if you're asked to identify the category, is motorized vehicles. Like on number 9, all farm animals are animals that do not experience the advantages of wilderness. If you're asked to identify the predicate term, this whole category is animals that do not experience the advantages of wilderness. So that whole description is the predicate term. Let's go ahead and do distribution. I've written the chart over here of distribution. It's the easiest way to remember it is just to always have this chart in my head. So subject, predicate term, A, E, I, O statements all are just the subject term that's distributed. E, no SRP, both terms are distributed. I, some S are P, no terms are distributed. And then O, some S are not P, just the predicate term is distributed. And again, distributed terms, you're just saying that the statement is giving you information about every member of that category, of that term. So let's go through. See, all C are M, that's an A statement. So it's just the subject term that's distributed. No Z are I, that's an E statement. So both terms are distributed. Some M are S, that's an I statement. So nothing is distributed. Some C are not E, it's an O statement. So just the predicate is distributed. No P are I, that's both, that's an E statement. All H are A, that's an A statement. So it's just the subject. Some C are not B, that's an O statement. So it's just the predicate. Some B are T, that's an I statement, so nothing is distributed. All F are A, that's an A statement. So it's just the subject, and then some T are B, that's an I statement, so nothing is distributed. Let's go ahead and fill out this 2-circle Venn diagrams. So the first one, I've labeled these with these first, for 2-circle Venn diagrams, we're always going to have the subject on the left, predicate on the right. So C on the left, M on the right. All C are M, so we are eliminating any possibility that there exists a C that is not part of the M category. That's what this is saying. All C are M, so we're eliminating. The shading represents elimination. So we're saying there's no possibility of any member in this area here, because for it to be a C, it also has to be an M. Number 2, no Z or I. We're gonna eliminate and shade in this middle football-shaped area. So what we're saying is there's no possibility of anything falling into this area where it's both a Z and an I. We're saying no Z or I. They're completely exclusive. So I and O statements, we're going to use an X to represent at least one. So some MRS, what we're saying is there is at least one member of the M category that is part of the S category. And the only shape that we have is right there. So this X represents at least one member that we know of that is part of the M category and also part of the S category. So the flip to that is an O statement. Some C are not E. We're going to put an X over on the left because what we're saying is there's at least one member of the C category, this whole circle here, that's not part of the E category. So it couldn't be in here because that would be both C and E. That's specifically not what this has told us. And we're using an X to represent at least one member. So we can't do any shading because we're not eliminating the possibility of anything. All the information the statement has given us is there's at least one member of the C category that's not a member of the E category. Number 5, no P or R. We'll run through the rest of these. Shade out the middle. All H are A. So we're eliminating the possibility of any H that's not part of the A category. Some C are not B. Some B are T. So it's at least one member, that's both. All F are A. We're eliminating the possibility of any F that's not part of the A category. And then some T are B. There's an X right there in the middle. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email or send me a message on Canvas and I will do my best to answer them.